Hello everyone, Jamie here back again for our annual tradition of reflecting on the previous year. Though if you're only new on here, this will look like the first time I've done this, but in actual fact, this is my 6th. 2025 has been one of the most profound years of my life to date, and I have a mile-long list of things to say about it. If you were around on my channel, you may have saw last year's reflection hearing me say stuff like, 2025 will see a lot of changes. Instead of seeing this as just another year, I see this as a year of significant transformation and maturing. And this. Exactly 1 year from now, 12 months, I hope to become a better version of myself than I am now. As well as this. 2025 is going to be our best year possible. Mark my words. I am beyond enraptured to say that all 3 of those clips you just saw of me from last year all became true. Mostly. Now strap yourselves in because this year is going to be very intriguing to reflect on. Okay, 2025 really has been a year like no other. Surprising as it may seem, for me, it was a year of mostly highs. I spent a large majority of this year focusing on my studies, just back there, as well as strengthening my friendships with others, which I will talk about later on in this video. Some highlights of 2025 include receiving my AS results in August, achieving 2 A's and 1 B across my subjects, as well as enjoying my outings on the buses with the lads, as you've seen in the videos. They featured in a lot of videos. On the 18th of July, you may have noticed a bit of a revamp to the channel. I did make a video near the time explaining why I did that, simply because I kind of felt the name Newton Abbey's 208 was embarrassing and corny, despite the majority of you thinking it was unique. On top of that, I wasn't that keen on my old videos being publicly accessible, considering how cringy my content was. Ugh. Anyway, other highlights include spending time with my school friend group over the past year, enjoying each day of school as it comes. Now, as some of you are aware, I'm in my final year of school before adulthood begins, and to be honest, I think that's an absolute bummer. Despite the many highs that 2025 has foreseen, there have been some not so great times too. On the 22nd of March, I lost my granny to Alzheimer's at the early age of 62. I remember getting the dreaded phone call from my mum when I was out on the ALX farewell tour around Bangor, Newton Ards and the Ards area. I was filled with regret for not being there in my granny's final moments, wishing I was there to support my family in time of need. On top of that, if you've seen my community posts, you'll notice I posted some stuff about mental health importance. To be completely honest, and I have been kind of beating around the bush here, but I have been battling stuff like anxiety and depression as early as 2018. I would have been 10 at the time. But like the depression part didn't really affect me that much until like 2022 when I was 14 and more self-aware, you know how stuff is. And I'd say that my worst period of depression lasted about 3 months when I became racked with feelings of guilt, causing me to reflect on how I can be better friends to other people. Because I kind of felt like I hadn't been doing that for quite a while. If it wasn't for the support of my friends and family during this time, I wouldn't have made my way through the smoky fog. If you're struggling with mental health, I would highly recommend that you talk to someone you trust, whether it be a family member, a friend, a romantic partner, a mentor, or a professional. One conversation can be enough to make a huge difference to someone's life. And I believe that suicide is never the answer. As someone who's been through a myriad of stormy seas, you will feel 1,000 times better by being open with your loved ones. These 3 friends in particular have helped me the most. The first person I'm going to mention in this section of the video is my longtime buddy Alex McFarlane, who first appeared on the channel of Green Island on the 6th of August of 2022. McFarlane has been an active fan of my channel for the last 3 years, and has been one of my closest pals, featuring in loads of collaboration videos from the Newton Abbey's 208 era, and even in the new era as well. If it wasn't for McFarlane, I actually would have stopped this channel altogether a long time ago. On the 23rd of July, he managed to convince me to keep my channel going, describing it as unique and like a museum, because it stored our earliest memories. He was also the guy who gave me a new perspective on buses, realising that they are far more interesting than the trains in Northern Ireland. Because of this, I now have discovered a concept called McFarlane's Law, which states that variety and enthusiasm are directly proportional. You'll never escape the Maz puns. Not only has McFarlane contributed in keeping this channel going after the revamp, but Zach Stevenson has also played a crucial role. He first appeared on the channel on the 30th of July 2024 in the video Buses and Banter at Dungannon and Cookstown, or Mid-Ulster. I can't remember what I called it. I would describe Zach as someone who is kind and caring, as well as an all-round top bloke. Not only is he one of my transport pals, but like McFarlane, I would also consider him as one of my other lifelong bros. On the 4th of April, we had an unplanned meet-up in Belfast to photograph some ALX 400s at Laganside, and after he left the bus to go home, he told me to text him when I got home and that I was safe, and that was really kind of him. On a funnier note, as I got off the bus that night, I realised that I'd left my bag on the bus, which had my revision notes inside it. Luckily, Zach remembered the number of the bus and where it was stored, so the next morning I rang Newton Abbey Depot to explain that my bus was left inside 2337, and to my surprise and luckiness, they had my bag sitting in their main building. So if it wasn't for Zach, I would have failed my exams. So personally, thank you, mate. You literally saved my bacon. Now, before anyone jumps to conclusions and says that I'm excluding the ladies, I want to say that that is where you stand corrected. Because this friend in particular gave me an all-new perspective of life in general. And I've kept her the last mention because I think she's had the most impact on my life. And it's Daisy Grace Campbell, also known as K-pop Obsessed. I met her on the 3rd of March 2025 through a mutual friend of ours, and we became very close friends and have been ever since. And I think she's just a gem of a person, you know. She's got qualities of kindness, intelligence, and empathy, which is rarer than finding diamonds above Y coordinate 16 in Minecraft. That was a very bad pun. Now, she used that last quality, I hope she doesn't mind me saying this, but she used that last quality of hers that I mentioned to save someone from a crisis, which honestly, it shows how amazing she is. My friendship with Daisy Grace also made me realise how powerful music can be, and it can get you through some tough times, and it's also a great way to connect emotionally with others. I understand how much Stray Kids and In Hyphen mean to her, and she understands my similar feelings to Two Door Cinema Club and Snow Patrol. Daisy Grace is a friend who will always be very special to me, and will continue to be for many years to come. Because of her kindness and unconditional support, she's inspired me to make better decisions in life, as well as increasing my confidence with talking to girls in general. And that's something I used to struggle with due to something that happened in early 2024. But since meeting her and others, my worries are widely negligible, and I'll be forever grateful for the rare and positive friendship that Daisy Grace and I have. As this video comes to an end, I just want to give shout outs to the following people. So there is Jodie McKee, Connor McCausland, Nathan McGuire, Ryan O'Keehan, Miles McCloskey, and I don't know how to say his name, Grantas Graziunas, for appearing on my channel for the first time this year. Aniran Spencer was featured last year, but I forgot to mention him then, but not to worry, he's on now. I also want to shout out other people like Alex Forsyth, Zach Hawthorne, Thomas McMorrow, Kieran Heron, John Shannon, and other additional friends, fans and supporters of the channel who've helped contribute to the approximately 1,250 subscribers we have today. I also want to give special thanks to my friends in school for helping me get through the dark times, as well as my family for doing the same. Each and every person I've met has played an important part of shaping this year to what it has become now. I appreciate every single one of you, and I wish all of you a wonderful new year, and I cannot wait to see what 2026 has in store for us all. But one thing is for sure, my childhood is gonna go bye-bye about 4 months after this video is posted. Shocker. This is Jamie Barkley signing off for 2025. Over and out.